This one's going to cause shit, and I'm preempting this. I'm going to straw man this real quick.
Okay, go for it.
You are not allowed to get mad at our take here, because I think Winston and I may not actually argue over this. I mean, we may end up agreeing with each other.
Yeah, it's very possible.
We have had very little discussion about this, but we knew that you guys, some subset of the populace watching this is going to get mad and start defending this.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but we'd prefer if you just hear us out for a second.
Yes. Should we play the clip first?
Let's just watch the clip first.
I
just want to warn people, there's no death.
No
bullshit.
No, don't worry about it. But you got to see this, okay? We'll set it up for you. You get, whenever you go to like a theme area, now it doesn't necessarily need to be a theme park or anything, but a theme, like you go to a botanical garden, for instance. They often have these kind of things like this, where there's a little shallow lake or water or something, and then they'll have like stepping stones, kind of like Mario.
Kind of like Mario.
But you hold onto a rope.
Yeah.
Or something, a strap, and then you like will step from step to. It's just kind of a fun thing people like to do.
And if you fall off, it would go.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like that. You'll get that sound, and then you'll fall down. Anyway, fact of the matter is, this is one of those situations. So there's a guy. He's got this woman all ready. He's like gets her to hold the rope. He's like, okay, you can. Not to laugh at this.
No. You just canceled yourself.
I'm sorry, but I am going to say that this is absurd and ridiculous, and it's worthy of ridicule.
You are not allowed to laugh at somebody suffering. I say you're allowed to ridicule something after that person is okay. And they're
okay.
Fine.
They're okay. Obviously not at the time.
It is less than 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, someone's going to come in here and they're going to say, well, when somebody's struggling in the water and then they won't be able to... You can stand up.
You can stand up.
I was a lifeguard for 5 years.
Yeah, so listen, he's a professional.
I have saved people's lives. I have given mouth to mouth. I have pulled bodies out of the water and made sure that they were alive again.
Yeah, you're in the newspaper and stuff, right? So, professional.
Now, we're looking at a scenario where all of those situations where I rescue people were way further out than 2 feet deep of water. Most were children. Most of the time, their parents weren't watching them, and they were in over their head already, and they got tired, and they started dipping, right?
Yeah.
This woman is standing in 1.5 feet of water.
Yes.
It's barely past her knees.
Yeah.
It's barely up to her waist.
Yes.
And somehow this happened.
Yeah. So if you're perhaps listening and not watching, it's a little zipline type thing. She slows down, okay? So she drops down. She drops down onto her knees on the floor of... Okay, now,
she already knows the bottom.
So take a look. Her knees hit the bottom. Bam, okay? And so her knees hit the bottom of the water. So it shows you, even if she's on her knees, she can still just stand there like on her knees and breathe fine or whatever. She lurches forward and flails around and almost drowns a grown woman.
Yeah.
And then the guy who, the employee of the park who set her up on the strap or whatever, gets in the water and wades over to her.
He literally just
walks over to her, okay? And it's not even up to his belt line, gets her up and takes her out. Okay, now, this, when I first saw this clip, I wasn't surprised.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I was just flabbergasted, but at the same time, not actually surprised.
But this isn't even about lack of swimming ability.
It's the lack of exposure to water.
Yeah.
And I made a video years ago that said, like, Chinese police can't swim.
Yeah.
You look it up.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of tragic drownings in China where, like, people are drowning like a foot or a meter away from crowds.
Yeah.
Because nobody can come in to help because they can't swim either. And it's a problem. When I was in China, in Shenzhen, when I used to teach people, it doesn't matter, kids, adults, whatever. One of the questions I would often ask the classes is, who can swim?
Yes.
And very few people could.
Yeah.
And that's because they don't get the exposure to swimming.
Sure.
It's just not something that happens in China. If you're in the very rural countryside and there's a river or something there, yeah, of course you're gonna flap around in there and get to learn.
Magikarp that.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna do exactly. But in general, Chinese people don't learn how to swim because they don't learn it in school. It's not something that's seen as an important trait.
Yeah.
And so you get a situation like this where someone is so wholly unprepared to deal with water that they almost drown in like less than 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
But it's just absurd. And you have to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And now you've seen it, now you can believe it.
One thing. I was gonna devil's advocate some of the Chinese commentary in the comments. There were people claiming that she faked to the whole thing, and this is all just an elaborate hoax to say, look, like our people are so nice and help each other. Because they have all those propaganda like Good Samaritan channels in China.
Yeah,
I know.
There's no way she
I'm just
faked
saying,
this. Yeah,
that was some hyperbole.
You could tell she's genuinely panicked.
Yeah, it's bad panic response.
And the recovery when she has to sit there on the ledge or whatever, you could tell like it was almost the end of her. 2 feet of water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just thought we'd share that.
Swimgate is going to be, I know people are going to come in and be like, I know somebody that blah, blah, blah. I get it.
Oh, yeah,
all
when
right,
you're going to shop.
Yeah, you do this and that. I get it. I was around that scenario, and I'm telling you, I've never even seen a child that didn't know how to swim that was that bad.
I know. It's just, you just have to look at it realistically from just,
Sure. So you guys remember Sitong Bridge? The bridge man? Of course, I don't even need to show him. Banner man. He put the banner down, had with all his demands, and then they disappeared him forever.
Yeah.
And it caused, a lot of those demands ended up in the protests that happened across the country.
Yes.
Right. Now, since then, by the way, imagine we're standing in Philadelphia, right? We're just like on a bridge, and we unfurl a banner, and it says like, I don't like the current administration. Hopefully the next administration can do better. Right?
Because it wasn't even
like
you get some incredibly cross people here in America, and it's something that I don't like.
Sure.
I actually don't like it at all. You'll see like fuck Trump or fuck Biden or whatever. Why do you got to use that? Why do you got to use that language? Like
on his shed.
I know, but I mean, like, why you got to have a sign that's...
We have a neighbor on his shed with a giant thing that says FUCK Biden.
Yeah,
and it's like I don't want my kids.
When I was in California, people like spray graffiti like F Trump on road signs and stuff. Or wear a T-shirt. It's like, dude, I get you don't like the person, but like you say, you got a kid. You don't want to have to explain to your kid. Why this person is so low class and such a disgusting, horrible person that they would put expletives on their clothing and stuff.
Bring it back.
So imagine you, instead of that, you were just like, I am very dissatisfied with Biden, or I'm very dissatisfied with Trump.
And then some
or like Biden stepped down.
Yeah.
Because that's what he said. He was like, Xi Jinping stepped down. He didn't even go like, Xi Jinping F your mom or something.
Now imagine you get killed for that.
Yeah, you get disappeared for that.
Not just that, but afterwards, 6 months afterwards, they have an entire police force stationed at this bridge where you can go.
Yeah.
Where they constantly patrol this little bridge in Beijing just to make sure there's nary a banner to be unfurled.
Yes, and look at all the cameras that are set up. The temporary police station has been set up there.
Just on this, and it's not a huge bridge, right? No. They just have a constant...
See, they've got the vans, the police vans in there just constantly surveilling.
A constant police...
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah. Oh no, not again! Selfish ass grab hags.
Yeah, they're just grab hags. They want photos of that.
They still won't get a good picture.
No. They love destruction. And he'd have a drink and he'd turn into a freaking tomato. It really must suck if you're Asian and you're trying to like have a little sly drink with your parents not knowing or something. You know what I mean? You can't. What a sucky way to die. Die by peanut.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Imagine that on your gravestone.
Dead by peanut.
Death by peanut.